going to talk about the Britax Skyline. This is a booster seat, high back and no back booster by Britax. It's very similar to their High Point. There's a few differences, one being that it doesn't have the belt guide in the front, which I actually like. That's a preference of mine. I like that the belt guide's not there because that can make a kid slouch. I'm a fan of this booster. I like it. The main con for me, well, the fabrics are easily removable, they are hand wash only. This is not their fabric that can go in the washer. Now, I couldn't find any other colors for sale currently of this booster. I don't know if that would change in the future. I know they've had different colors available in the past, so in the future it might be different options than black, and they might have some in their safe wash fabric. I don't know for sure because I'm not talking to Britax over here or anything, but that was like the main con for me. Otherwise, this is a really great booster. I mean, the width-wise on the bottom, like this part that I'll show you when I get to no back mode, but it's really not that much wider than like a Graco Turbo Booster or something. So it's not like overly huge on the bottom. The wings are bigger for the top, but that's gonna be a comfortable place for a bigger kid to be sitting for a longer amount of time. And think about why I like that. It does go really high. I'll talk about why I like the wideness as we continue through this. But the stats for this, I actually really like the stats for the seat too. I'm kind of a fan of the seat, if you couldn't tell. With the back, it goes from 40 pounds to 120 pounds and 44 inches to 63 inches. So the minimum is 40 pounds or 44 inches, and you have to have the back on. They also say that with the back, you have to be able to have the child sitting with the belt guide across with the belt. So you bring the lap belt through here, and the shoulder belt would be coming down through here, okay? And they would meet here and go through together right here. Make sure you check out my install video because I show you how to do that. But the lap belt has to be sitting on the child's thighs, upper thighs, like right here. And then the shoulder belt needs to be right at or just above, which with the back, you can just adjust the height. Like if they're shorter, you put it here. If this is right at or above their shoulder, if they're taller, you move it up. So the back helps, these are the belt guides, okay? And they hold the straps on your child's shoulder correctly. You don't want it up here by their ear, that's not safe. That's why you're using the booster, to make sure that it's not up by their ear, because that's where it would be if they weren't in a booster. So, I like the fact that it says that it has to be fitting them correctly with the belt too. A lot of seats just don't include that verbiage in their like specifications. They do put it like other places in the manual, like how the belt should fit. But I like that it's like right there so that you can see what's expected for the seat. Now, I'm going to put the back down. It just goes right here. It's the red handle there. So then there's a little thing here to figure out how to get the bag off. I had a lot of trouble the first time. You kind of have to do it off the side of a table, and I don't have one here, so this is going to be interesting. But you have to push the back, and it's supposed to make that much noise. That is normal. And then you lift it up over a table, and I'm going to use my leg. And then you have to, like, off the edge of the table, there we go, take the back off. And that was really loud. It is difficult. So here is the backless, and as you can see, it's really not overly wide. I mean, the cup holders are wider. They don't bend in or anything. They are dishwasher safe, which is cool. And then this is your backless, and it goes, the minimum for the backless is 48 pounds and 46 inches. So they have to meet both of those to use it backless, okay? You can keep using it with the back. Past that, like well past that, you don't have to change when they get to 48 pounds and 46 inches. You can use it all the way to 120 pounds and 63 inches with the back. That is fine, as long as the belt is still at or just above their shoulder with the back on. But as kids get bigger, oftentimes they want the back off just because it's constricting. They're bigger. They might want a booster that's their friends can't see outside the car, whatever. So then you can change the backless at 48 pounds and 46 inches, which is kind of a higher minimum. However, the reason is there is no, well, my thought that the reason is that there is no belt guide that attaches to the back of this. It doesn't come with one. So, at least I couldn't find the manual that came with one. And this, I mean, I got this secondhand, so just for this video, it's not being used for a kid, but it didn't come with one. But I would look through the whole manual, and I didn't see anything in there saying that there was a belt guide. So, we're going with it doesn't come with belt guide. And the problem with that is now if they need the back to position the belt down here instead of up here, you're gonna have to keep the back on. Okay, so that could be a con, especially if your kid doesn't want the back, like they're a smaller, like 10-year-old, and they're not sitting right without the back. Some seats do come with a belt guide, and so then they wouldn't need the back. With the seat, you do until they can sit correctly with the belt, again, across their upper thighs, and the seat belt being just at or just above their shoulder, not up here by their ear or really high or anything. So the back is going to stay on like a little bit longer, especially for a smaller kid. But I mean, if you have a kid who sleeps in the car all the time, that's really not an issue, because that would be comfortable for them to sleep in the back. So that is the stats for that seat. It does come with lower anchors, which are not required. They in a booster, so you push this button and then they pop out right here on the back. So right there, I just loosened them enough so I could get them out. So they are the stapler kind. I know it's super professional of me to call them that, but that's what they are, the stapler. The fat part goes up, click it on, click, click, and then you tighten. But you don't have to tighten it to like, so pretend these are clicked in, and I just like tighten it right here. You don't have to tighten it to an inch passing like the 1 inch test that you do for a harness car seat, because that's not what's holding your kid in the seat. These lower anchors are just for when the kid isn't in the seat. Okay, it's to hold the seat in place if the child's not in it and the seatbelt's not across, so it's not a projectile on the crash. Because if these are not buckled in, this is going like this if you stop short or get in a crash, and it can hit somebody and hurt them. So you either use the lower anchors and click it in, so when your kid's not in it, it can't go anywhere, or you have the kid buckle the seat in when they're not in it. Okay, when the kid's in it, the lower anchors do nothing, so they don't have to like pass the 1 inch test or anything. This booster seat just needs to sit on the seat of the car correctly and have the back against the back and everything. And that's about it. One thing I did notice is there's kind of like a gap here. So like this is what hits the back of the car, and then there's like this much space here. So I'm like this much space, like 2 fingers of space right here. So your kid would be off the back of the fabric. So I thought that was interesting that there wasn't really like a cover for that or anything. Some kids might complain about that, some might not. With the back on, you don't notice it because that's where the back goes. And then you just have coverage of the fabric. It's a thick, cushy fabric. I mean, like most Britax seats have a pretty good coverage of fabric. But overall, it seems like a pretty great booster seat for a lot of kids. Some kids, maybe more petite ones, might not like it as much because they won't be able to use the backless as soon as a bigger kid would. But yeah, it's a good option for, especially if you have a kid who's taller on the height chart, or heavier, then this is gonna last them longer, because it does go up to the 63 inches and 120 pounds, where a lot of boosters only go to 57 inches and 100 pounds, and they may not fit the seatbelt right. So this gives you a longer span, which I really like. The one thing I'm seeing that might be an issue is, so the minimum is 40 pounds, which is pretty much standard of most boosters. But the minimum inches with the back on is 44 inches. And so the kid's gonna have to be harnessed longer, especially if they're on the smaller end of the spectrum, before they fit in the seat. But I mean, you should be harnessing your kid past 5, really, until they're mature enough to sit correctly the entire ride, which it also says in the manual. This, I really liked that. It says it with this, with the stats of what you need to use the seat. One of the things is that your kid needs to be able to sit correctly the whole ride. So I like that that's like right at the front. It's not like buried in the technicalities and everything later on. Although you should read your whole manual. So this is the Britax Skyline. Leave any thoughts in the comments about it, any questions. I'm happy to help. I'm Sarah. I'm a CPST who reviews car seats to help make your search easier. And like and subscribe for more content like this. Check out my other videos. And give me a follow on Instagram at the Car Safe Kids. Thanks for watching.